Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something pretty interesting. This idea that some in Gen Z might actually prefer meme coins over, traditional banks.
Yeah, it sounds kind of counterintuitive at first glance, doesn't it?
It really does. We're looking at an article called Gen Z Trusts Meme Coins Over Banks to sort of unpack this. What's really going on here? What's the perspective?
Well, the article kicks off by painting a picture, a young person maybe facing student loans, seeing prices go up with inflation.
And getting hit with bank fees.
Yeah.
Right. That stuff adds up.
Exactly. Then maybe a friend mentions making decent money or even paying rent with something like Shiba Inu.
Wow, rent with Shiba Inu.
Okay. Yeah. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? Where does trust actually come from when that's your financial reality?
Absolutely. And the article really dives into the generational context. Think about it growing up, seeing the fallout from the 2008 crisis and the whole COVID pandemic economic situation.
Right. The article points out, governments were printing trillions, but jobs weren't exactly secure for everyone. That shakes confidence.
It suggests maybe that traditional systems don't always feel, well, reliable to them.
So then you look at the alternatives they're seeing, meme coins. The article talks about decentralization, no single boss, basically, and they're borderless. That's pretty different from a bank.
Yeah, very different. And there's this huge cultural element, isn't there? These coins are tied into internet culture, TikTok, Reddit, all that.
The article actually makes this point, like, a coin with a funny face, maybe Shrek, might feel closer, more trustworthy somehow than a suit behind a big desk.
It sounds strange, but I kind of see the logic. It's about relatability, maybe?
Community.
Yeah, the community aspect seems key. And it creates this sense of agency or transparency, perhaps, even though it's super volatile.
How so? Transparency with meme coins. Well, the article frames it like this. If you lose money, it feels like your choice, your risk. You jumped in. It's not like some hidden bank fee you didn't see coming or a bailout you had no say in.
Okay, I get that distinction. It's a different kind of risk perception.
Right. But let's be clear, the article definitely doesn't ignore the dangers.
No, it absolutely doesn't. It specifically mentions pump and dump landmines. So the risks are very real.
Very real. It's not presented as a safe haven, but the motivation seems to be more than just trying to get rich quick.
So what's the deeper thing then?
The article concludes it's tied into a broader distrust of the established financial world. A desire for, maybe, freedom, ownership.
Like, this system isn't really working for me, so I'll look elsewhere. Or even try to build something different.
Exactly. That seems to be the underlying sentiment captured in the piece. They're exploring, maybe even building, their own alternatives.
So for you listening, the main takeaway here isn't just that meme coins are a weird fad. For at least some of Gen Z, it seems to represent something bigger. A disillusionment, maybe, with traditional finance.
Yeah, and a search for something that feels more, transparent, community-driven, something they feel more a part of.
Which leaves us with a pretty big question for you to think about.
What does this shift in trust really mean for the future? For banks, financial institutions, but also just how younger generations think about and interact with money down the line.
Definitely something to keep an eye on. Food for thought.